We have Gina Fratini with us, the lady who's designed all these beautiful dresses. Gina, let's start with Annie and her wedding dress. Where do you start? Do you see a design and then find the material, or the other way around?
I see a material, and that a material inspires me sometimes to want it printed, and that inspires the dress.
In fact, is printed. It's white, but it's printed.
Yes, it is. It's white organza, and it's printed with what I call snowflowers. I don't know if anyone can see it, but there are some very beautiful sort of just white on white. It just gives a sort of depth to the white, I suppose.
Absolutely incredible. Annie, would you like to go and change while we turn to Corinna? Now, that was the wedding dress was a fairly stiff silk. This is floating. This is what, Gina?
Well, this is pure chiffon silk, obviously. That's crêpe de chine, embroidered in silk and studded with diamonds.
Really? Gina, silk is expensive. I mean, there's no way around the fact that it is a most expensive, I think probably the most expensive fabric one can buy.
Yes, it is. It is. But as long as they can still keep making it, that's the only thing that really makes me frightened, is the day that the last silkworm sort of packs it in and says, you know, take over world.
Gina, in view of the price, is silk long-lasting? I mean, one always thinks it's so fine and delicate. I mean, do you get a lot of wear out of it?
Oh, I think it's tremendously sturdy, you know. I mean, silk is one of the materials that, I mean, fibres that can be the finest thing that you could ever make. You could just blow and it will move and puff away. Or it can be the sturdiest thing that could be found that you just couldn't destroy it.
Corinna, would you like to go and change? My heart was in my mouth when Corinna was modelling because she was just dragging it along the floor, but I presume it can be cleaned and...
Yes, you can do anything with it.
Gina, you not only design, but in conjunction with a silk printer, you very often decide that you want a certain kind of silk and you say what you want yourself and get it printed out.
Yes, I do. I get feelings, just as Sue was talking about just now. She works with Bill a lot.
That's Bill Gibb?
Yes, Bill Gibb. And I'll suddenly get a feeling when I'm starting to think of my next collection, say is spring, summer, which I had this done for last spring.
Beautiful, greeny, fresh.
And I just suddenly had this sort of feeling of this silk organza billowing with these tiny green leaves on it. And it made me feel wonderful, and I got that together.
Gina, you're well established now, and you use silk an incredible amount.
Yes.
But there must have been a day when you first came out of your art college or whatever and had to design in other materials.
No. I would use natural fibres always. If I couldn't get silk, I would get cotton voile. I'd get the cheapest cheesecloth, anything. I can't work with synthetics. They just don't seem to want to go together. They don't, or they don't want to please me.
Certainly the way you design, and you know, it cries out for silk.
Yes. Well, you see, silk, they fall in together. They just sort of, and they lie on top of each other, and they give depth and wonderful things that nothing else can produce.
The way you talk about it is rapturous. Gina, what about these? They're dark, but still very feminine and floating.
Oh, I mean, this is almost a sporty pattern. This is a bianchini fabric, and they do the most divine prints. I mean, they put this almost tweed-looking pattern onto organza, and what could be more beautiful?
It is an incredibly versatile
It is. You can do all sorts of things. I mean, this was a summer ago, and I had sort of two prints put together. And this is on a crêpe de chine.
Really gorgeous. Gina, thank you so much for joining us.
I loved it. Thank you, Jan.
Well, that's the end of Women Only today. Very much for everybody who's come along, and we hope you've enjoyed our little flight of fantasy. Goodbye.